just on the way home from visiting family for the last 3-4 days. And I asked Steve to meet me on the highway to take Luna home because I feel like she'd rather stay than continue on with me out to the cliff. So as I've said probably way too many times before, but for those of you that watch every video, I'm sorry. There's lots more that don't watch every video, or if you're brand new here, getting out there is really difficult, and I have very few opportunities to really go out there and work on that cabin. So I have a small window today to continue to go out there for the night. So I'm gonna try to do that. Everyone's reunited and it feels so good.
Where's one line?
Come on, Lenny! It had snowed here a lot, and I don't know if I can drive out, but I'm gonna attempt it. It'll take me about an extra hour to drive and see. Fingers crossed it can happen. There's a crow over there. Let's stop to talk to him. A raven, probably. Was it something I said? It's 4:15. There were a couple trees down that I had to kind of get out and break the branches off of to get by. I'm in a rush to get down there because of the lack of daylight. So I was hoping to get the timbers down on the Sky Mule tonight, but I think my priority is to just quickly pack up as many belongings or whatever gear and supplies that I need. Get down there, get a fire going, and I have a headlight down there. So if I felt like it was a fun thing to do to come up here in the dark, I could get the timbers down tonight, but it might not be till tomorrow. It's really quite windy here too. There's something I have to show you guys. Not this. Let me bring you in. As many of you know, my purple coat has been on the fritz for some time. So when I was away, I always thrift store shop. I buy most of my things at a thrift store. I found this well-used purple puffy coat for an expensive $14, but it's in decent condition and it seems warm and the fabric is really durable. So I took it. And I think I might have to replace my old purple coat because it's disintegrating. Phone, camera gear, some food, water. Be nice to shovel this. Oh man, it's a bit deep. Steady as she goes. I just slipped and fell. And I landed right on a rock on my butt. It's gonna leave a mark. Tree down. I think it's been really windy here. Hopefully things are okay. The chimney is still upright. Woohoo! We're home. Boo. I have a lot of scrap wood from the build. Things, you know, little offcuts. And although they are small for most wood stoves, they're still too big for this stove. So I gotta pick through what I can that's little bits. And I was hoping I had some birch bark left here, but I must have used it all. But that's okay. I'm a good Queen Scout without a Queen Scout certificate. Okay, the fire is going pretty good. One thing I am wishing that I either bought or borrowed. I have two of those fans that go on the top, those eco fans or whatever they're called that circulate the air. I have two of them down at the other cabin down below. I could have taken one from there or I could have bought one. I thought about it, but I wasn't sure I was coming out here for sure. So that's kind of why I was like, well, procrastinate. It's kind of been a problem of mine lately. I procrastinated on like the fan, but I was like, wouldn't it be good to have a fake plant in here? And a coffee. Oh, it got bent already. Dang. What? Don't break. As another way of having coffee, probably when I fell on the bag a little bit. And I got some slippers. Snow slippers for here. Dinner of champions, instant noodle soup. Thinking about that loft. This has been a go-to meal for me out here on many occasions now because it's easy. Don't need to dirty a bowl. And it's filling. It's not very nutritious, but it's about 6:30. I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm not gonna go up and get the wood. Pretty windy out there, and I'm just trying to, you know, get snug as a bug here. I'm a little bit chilled. It's 10 degrees in here now. So this is going really well now that that grate is off. I haven't read any of the comments from the last video because that video came out today. And today I was in the Okanagan visiting family. I was there for about 3 days. I haven't been back home for, gosh, almost 2 years. So it was long overdue. That's been weighing on my shoulders for a long time. I took Luna with me to give her some new experiences and let her meet everyone, but I didn't want to bring her here with me. So that's why I had asked Steve to meet me to pick her up. She was so excited to see everyone and everyone was so excited to see her too. So I know it was the right decision. Plus it's easier for me to work without a dog in here. Yeah, so anyway, so I haven't read any comments. If anyone has this stove or has heard of this happening with that grate kind of basically blocking the airflow, I think it was pretty obvious that I was pretty stressed out in that video. I don't even think I showed just how stressed out I was, but it's actually getting warm enough in here now that I can take my new purple coat off, which is, I think, a winner. If anyone wants to know. 14 bucks, it's used, but it's just gonna get trashed anyway, right? I think it's no secret that I've been stressed out lately. I think it's been visible in my videos a little bit. I did take a week off of filming and creating new content simply to try and focus on things in my life that I've been procrastinating on or just ignoring or not dealing with. Typically, they're the things that I am not good at. One of the things that I did was I added, or I kind of worked on my desk area, like my editing work area, my office. Last year, or like almost 2 years ago, I guess, I redid a little desk, and that was better than sitting on the couch, which is what I was doing before, sitting on the couch with a laptop to edit. So it was an upgrade, but it's also very small, and I've outgrown that space. So I took a slab of the beetle kill pine, kind of finished it up a little bit. It was full of wormholes. It wasn't something that I wanted to make a video about because it was not a good thing. I'm not proud of it. It's just something to fill the space and to create more desk space. So that I did, and I also bought a little cabinet, a little antique cabinet for storage. Just picking away at the things in my life that I've been putting off for such a long time, which leads me to thank the sponsor of the video today, which is BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy resource that connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and provide helpful and unbiased advice. With over 30,000 therapists in their network, you can get matched with the right therapist for you. If you don't feel like the therapist is the right match for you, or your schedules don't jive, you can always switch therapists without any extra cost. If you want your session to be very personal, video face-to-face, you can have that. You can have just a phone call, or if you prefer to stay low-key and just do text messaging, you can do that as well. Well, typically for me, things like my pets, my projects, and being out in nature are what help me maintain positive mental health. This type of situation with what I'm dealing with lately, what it's lacking is the human connection. Someone to talk to bounce ideas off of that's actually listening. Sorry, Steve. Someone to help me set goals and adhere to those goals. If you think you or your family or your friends might benefit from therapy, consider BetterHelp using the link in my description, or you can check out betterhelp.com/Michigas. By using my link in the description, you not only help support me and my channel, continuing to provide hopefully better and better content as time goes on, it also gives you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. I normally put something a little bit creamy and something tiny bit sweet in my coffee, but today it's going to be as black as my heart. Okay, let's go over the loft drawings. So here is the first idea. This is the top view, bird's eye view. And what my thought was that I only have the sleeping space here, and then this space is open so that I have a ladder that I come up and I crawl up through this little hole and I climb onto the loft like this. And this ladder is hinged up here, and then I have a pulley system, and I basically pull it and it sits underneath the floor of the loft. It would definitely make it only a one-person sleeper. I mean, width-wise, it's going to be as narrow as possible, and it would for sure only sleep one person this way. The other thing I don't like, that I don't think I like about it, is that it's a little bit messy. I think it will be a little bit messy looking. I really like how the ladder stays hinged here and just pulls up and out of the way like really easily. The problem with it is that I feel like when you walk in, I think it would look nicer if what you see above you is consistent from one side to the other, rather than it being like open here and then there's kind of like a ladder and a hole, you know. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but in this whole space, I've tried to make it as balanced as possible, which is why the lockers are at the back. I didn't put the wood stove in the corner because I wanted the wall to look balanced from one side to the other. So when you walk in, I feel like it makes it look more spacious and aesthetically pleasing. And I feel like the same with when you walk in, your eye is gonna kind of be drawn up to that loft, to the ceiling. And if it was the same from one side to the other, it would look nicer. Plan B. So obviously have the loft that goes from fully one side to the other, and I will have a detachable ladder that comes up the front, lands over there on the floor space somewhere. The problem is that I don't really have anywhere to store it as nicely as plan A, but I can always figure that out down the road. I could figure out a way to store it up underneath the loft as well, but anyway, I think it's easy for me to start it and try this. And if I really don't like that, then I can just continue filling it in like this. You know what I'm saying? I organized one of those blue bins that's been sitting outside that shed for almost 3 years now. So I don't know that I'll get through the other one today, but I got through the first one. So I will take this little charcuterie board out to the shed. I actually kind of forgot I had quite a supply of stuff in the shed still. So a couple things of soup, some instant oatmeal so I can have breakfast, and some creamer with a sugar in it. Rice cakes, those are pretty old. Definitely gonna have a chair here permanently, not this one. Dilly-dallying is done. It's time to go get the wood. This is taking me a little bit longer than I thought. I had to go down, there were like a couple little trees that, you know, kind of were drooping over top of the line. I had to go down and like kind of bend them and try and break the tops off so that they could get out of the way. And then having problems with the Sky Mule itself. There's a little lever in there that clamps down on this rope, and it seems like the spring or something is frozen and it's not working properly. So I got it to clamp back down on the rope, which should get it so that I can use it for right now, but I think it's going to need to come down and get a service. There's one thing we are not short of around here is this stuff. This is really good fire starter. I don't know if you can see the top of the cabin. I have like, I don't know, 80 feet to go to get to the cabin. There it is through the trees there. Staying another night tonight would be superb. That is not in the availability of the schedule. God, this thing is heavy. How did I get this up here? I have a feeling I got this up here before I put the windows in. Okay, just figuring out my dimensions and how I want this to go. So I think these are going to be my two side beams. So we're looking at this like straight on. And then I thought I would just split the difference. I think I'm only going to do 2 beams. I feel like 2 is enough. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a railing. I don't want it to block the windows too much. So I think 2 is okay. So it's overlapping over top of the beam and then underlapping the beam. Key is to not hitting any nails at this point. In case anyone is wondering, no, I have not found my other saw that fell. Sadly, I don't think I will. Perfect. This one's good. Trying to make sure I do the math of this right. This one did not turn out as well. The other one, my first one was really good. This one is off. One thing I'm thinking already is that I'm probably gonna have to actually trim the overall length because getting it up, it can't be a perfect fit. I was trying to make it a perfect fit, but anyway, we'll try. Pretty sure this isn't gonna fit. I'm gonna have to trim it down more, but I'm gonna try. Okay. So I screwed up and it's not a tight fit from inside to inside, and I was like, what? Trying to figure out what I did, and now I know what I did wrong. It's always something I screw up. But now I'm trying to figure out, is that too big of a sleeping space? That's 32 inches in there up to that beam. I thought 32 inches would be a good sleeping, but maybe I could even shorten it. I don't know. I gotta think about this. I decided on pushing the beam in, so my sleeping space is gonna be 28 inches wide, which is totally more than enough for me. I'm small and I really want to try to keep the cabin as open feeling as possible. I'm out there trying to get that one. It's a little bit different than the other one, and I'm gonna make it so that the hardware shows from underneath, so that, and then I also have a 2x4 that's I have to account for, and I actually have to go. So I'm out there like rushing, and then I'm like, no, I don't want to screw this up. So I'm just going to, I have to clean up and pack up and hike out of here. It's going to take me like an hour and I have to go. Steve is working late and there's no one to help with the dogs today. So I am sorry, but we will have to carry on with the loft the next time. But I'm sure that the next time I'm out, the hard parts are kind of done. The planning and preparing, the lumber's down here. I should be able to complete it by the next time I am out here. One last thing I had to quickly do was get a bit of firewood. So I have something for next time. And it was just that tree that was just kind of down on the trail over there. But look at like how tiny and cute. That's like a big log for that wood stove. Put that all inside. That's a good little haul. Just starting to snow. Okay friends, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Deep pow now, you guys.